How much? Oh, the answer is painful. Drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. So I had a moment, I locked myself inside the garage, had to open it manually. What a moment. Over the weekend, I was able to do everything. Remember, we had the paintings here. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, you should go check it out. Good morning, guys. Today we have the trash guy coming to pick up the trash, so I have to make sure everything is sorted. So I organized the truck. We'll talk about the money and everything later on, but for now I have to get ready so that when he comes he can find everything set. So the goal is to have all this stuff taken, but I have some things I need to add. I forgot how heavy this thing is. It's quite a lot, but it cost me a lot. So now we just have to wait. Once he comes in, I can be able to start recording and stuff. Wow, what a fast-paced moment. Oh man, this was crazy. So I locked myself outside, and then I locked, and then the outside gate was not working. So it's such a fiasco. I was like, oh, for a minute I panicked. And you know, for them, if you delay, let's say if they're supposed to come at 9 and you don't come at 9, then you end up having problems. So they charge you extra, so per the minute. But it has cost me a lot of money to get rid of all that trash, a lot of money. So we're going to have a look at that. And finally it's out. I'm quite happy. Finally. Now I can be able to use the space to do all the RC stuff. I've been working towards that the whole of September and we're here. Quite happy. So after a bit of research, I found out what was the problem. This thing was flicked up, so the gate could not open. So in the moment of panic, when the people came with the truck, I wanted to open the gate and knew I could go around and open the door, but I never had the key. A whole load of things happened in 1 second and I found myself locked out. I was able to open the gate manually and then they were able to come in. So a simple thing like this, I thought the battery was dead. I've checked it out, everything is okay. I'm just going to put it in the car so that next time, but these things happen only when you're panicking. This happens when that moment when everything is happening, the guy is trying to talk to me in Japanese. I'm trying to open the gate, trying to figure out what he's saying. Oh, I'm ready. And everyone is like, yeah, open the gate. Okay, it's time. And then phew, everything goes wrong. So that was funny. That was a funny moment. Now that I have that out of the way, I am quite pleased. Quite pleased with myself for being able to see that through. I still have some more canvases to fold, but they're not so much that I can be able to finish in one evening. So I know the question is, how much did it cost me to throw away all that trash? How much? Oh, the answer is painful. Drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. Number one number is 6 0 0 0. Yep, there's another 0. 60,000. 60,000 yen. My friend. 60,000 yen. For trash. I need therapy. But you know, So after taking out all those frames and everything, I started doing consultation, looking for quotes from different garbage companies, because you cannot just take your trash and put it outside. Because you will need stamps, and each stamp for things like those, the wooden things would take about 2,000. So I did the math, between 300 and 2,000. So if you have about 80 frames and you're doing 300 plus all these other things, electronics and all, each one of them needs a stamp. This would have cost me also around the same amount. It would have been more troublesome to be able to know when to put them out, who's coming to pick them up. And a lot of the trash that I had them from the previous studio and also in Nigeria, where I thought, I'm going to use them, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So I had many ideas in the head of what I'm going to do with the trash. So yeah, so it got me there. And it's good to be a minimalist. Now that I discover it's a good thing to be a minimalist. But as an artist, you really need material to do stuff. It's very expensive hobby and career, but at the same time, it's very fulfilling. Cost me $500, man, $500 to do this. But yep, it's part of the game. And it's good. It freed me up completely. I feel absolutely, it's something that has been holding me back for almost a year. I've been thinking about what I'm going to do with that, because the long term, what happens is that when you're eventually moving out of Japan, then you really have to battle with the same problem. So me, I'm battling with the problem early before moving, and the rest of these other things I can be able to control and, you know, throw them when needed and all this. But the bulk of the love seat that we had and many other things, those ones would have been such a headache, especially the final day when we're moving out of the country. Then we need to park, the moving companies are here to pack the things, and you're doing all these things at the same time. So for me, I think ahead and I say, if we're moving next year, then I can be able to put everything together so that next year can be just a little bit more smooth running and the transition can be much more easier. So I'm thinking ahead. So I'm technically supposed to do these things next year, but I'm doing them this year. so you get a hint of what's coming. So that was the concept. So $500. But it's not a loss. It was actually a good thing that I was able to do this. And such a process, I locked myself out. Oh man, why does it happen when people are around? When you're alone, you're composed, everything happens, the gate opens. The moment there's a sense of emergency and you need to do something and there's urgency, then all of a sudden everything doesn't work and you're in that state of frenzy and you feel like the world is impatient with you and you're scrambling and I had to run up and get the key and do this and do that, and thanks God we have like a manual key for opening the gate. If not, those guys would have charged me just for coming, or they would have had to take it out of the stairs and then they would have charged me another $500. So that would be $1,000. $1,000 for all this. Well, that was such a fun project. I finally come to an end. I can breathe. And we move to the next project. Well, see you on the flip side. Peace.